Hello there. It's time for Most Things Kenobi.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Most Things Kenobi, a podcast about Obi-Wan Kenobi and all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Leanne.
And I'm your host, Lauren.
Emergency transmission happening this week, this episode. We are sitting down less than 48 hours after episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. And if you have not seen it at this point, this is nothing but spoilers. So turn away now. You're invited to come back after you've seen the episode, but this entire episode is nothing but spoilers. So
yes,
consider this your fair warning.
We love you. Please come back. But yes, we don't want to spoil anything for anybody. So we're trying to give fair warning up front.
Yes, this is a big one.
Yes, we are interrupting our usually scheduled program. We were supposed to talk about, I think, favorite quotes, right? Is what we're supposed to have.
Yes, exactly.
That's going to come next week because this is far too important to not address
Far too important. Yeah, this is an emergency recording. All because of one Luke Skywalker. Who? Oh my God. And so Lauren and I have really tried to keep quiet to each other about this. So you're going to get our raw reaction together. We've said like maybe 4 sentences to each other.
We've been holding it in all day. All day.
Literally.
And actually since last night and yesterday.
Yes, since we saw it. And we're just like, you know what? We're not going to do this till we have a microphone in front of our faces and we can share this with everybody. And here we are.
Oh my God, girl. I was dying. I'm dead. I'm still dead.
I'm still not over it. It took me so long to like just, I was in like, I'm still in processing mode.
Mm-hmm. Same.
Like it was so much greatness that I had to like just step away and process. But I think I'm ready to talk about it if you are.
Oh yes, I'm sure there are things I'm going to forget to talk about, but it doesn't matter. I have to talk about some things to make room for the other things to come up. So,
yes.
Yeah.
And so let's just get it out of the way. We were treated to some incredibly amazing shit last night, basically.
Oh my God. Stuff that like my inner child was just spasming out because it was just, oh.
So the second that R2-D2 shows up, you kind of know where it's going.
Yeah.
I mean, and then we get treated to the beginnings of Luke's school.
Yeah, which is so bittersweet.
It was a beautiful location. It's so peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And it hurts to know, like, what ends up happening to it and how it looks.
I know.
You know, based on that shot that we see in the sequels.
Devastating.
Oh, but then we see him with Grogu. I mean, okay, so, like, Mando and Grogu are heartbreaking enough.
Yeah.
Then you throw in Luke Skywalker realness, which... Did that deep fake look amazing or what?
It was so good. It was so good. So much better. The improvement from last episode of Mando to this, unbelievable.
They fixed everything that I think they needed to. Yeah. And sometimes I just stared at the TV like, am I even watching this? Like, am I even seeing this? Like... It was Mark Hamill's face, Mark Hamill's voice, or at least very close to it. And I mean, it was real enough for me to be happy with everything.
Yeah, me too. I came away feeling, I felt so happy afterwards instead of like, ooh, that was a little off mark. It was like there was no feeling like that. There were things about it that were like, because when you know Mark Hamill as well as we all do, because we've all grown up watching him and We've heard his voice our entire lives. Of course, we're going to be aware, but it was as close to him as you could get without it actually being him.
Yeah, and then they added Ahsoka.
Yeah, that was when I was like, okay, I'm losing my fucking shit. When they step into a scene together.
together.
She just casually walks up behind him, and he can sense her coming, and he turns a little bit, and then they start talking, and then the things they say to each other, and I died. I'm still not been resuscitated yet. I'm dead.
I think that was the most real moment for me. And, okay, like, again, I'm still processing. But who knew after the Luke scene that we got in the Mandalorian season 2 finale that like a year or so later we'd get a whole hour of him and we would get a scene with him and his father's Padawan. Like, you want to talk about a coming together of the worlds? My mind fucking nearly exploded, and the things she just looks at him. Rosario Dawson does it right. She has that look down. Mm-hmm. She looked at Luke with love, like as you would. Now she said, I'm a friend of the family's. You know, that's something that Ahsoka Tano would totally say, right?
Everybody melted in their seats watching that.
Yes. But then she says, you are so much like your father. I mean, just take the knife and twist it.
I just couldn't. I was watching the scene and my brain was racing a million miles an hour thinking like, she must just be thinking that the entire time. And then she said it and I was like, God bless you, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Like, that is what we want. Like, all the Clone Wars people are just like dying to hear that. And they just gave it right to us, a little gem. It was so beautiful. And the way he looks at her when she says that.
Right? And I have chills, by the way. I literally have like goosebumps. But you want to, I mean, that's the amalgamation of worlds right there. Mm-hmm. You know, all these moments. And so does this mean we're going to get the conversation that we all want? Like, because you know it's happened. It's happened by this point. Luke and Ahsoka have talked. They're friends now. Mm-hmm. They clearly know one another. He says to her in the end, will I see you again? Which kind of hurt.
Oh my gosh, it was like sad.
So are we going to get the talk? We'll call it the talk.
Yeah.
That Luke and Ahsoka must have at this point.
God,
where
I hope so.
He tells her, your master turned back to the light in the end. And she gets to tell him all about his father and his mother.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Who were basically her parents.
Yes. That would just be...
Like, I could see it happening in her show.
Yeah, see, now I feel like this really... Because remember what I said in a previous episode where Luke is the one who brings down Thrawn in the original Thrawn trilogy. Or, like, at least fights Thrawn. And now they're having Ahsoka do that. And I was like, what if Ahsoka and Luke, like, teamed up? Now they could. They've set it up so that, like, it's very possible.
Well, the producers have proven with this singular episode, they can make 60 minutes or whatever odd minutes it was of Luke Skywalker happen.
Yeah.
Without any, I mean, there were things I liked and things that I was like, okay. But, like, for the most part, they could pull it off.
Yeah. Like, how fucking brave are they? This episode is so courageous because it's, like you said, in end of Mando, we could see how they had the cloak, they covered his face, you know, and then at the end he pulls the hood off and you just see the deep fake, quote unquote, for a few minutes. This was like, balls to the walls. We are doing this like all the way.
Not only that, they held shots of his face on purpose.
Yes.
For longer than they probably needed to.
Yes.
Just to be like, do you see what we've created?
We've done a good
Bask
job.
in it.
Yes.
See? And so many tiny little moments and much bigger moments. Just all wrapped into one. I have so many emotions and all I'm doing is stuttering. Terrible for a podcast.
I know. Bear with us, folks. We're emotional.
Yes. We're not going to go in order, but we will
it's just
talk about everything.
It's going to be all over the place, but I don't care. Okay, so one of the things, you were talking about the conversation with Ahsoka and Luke, and I was talking to my sister earlier saying the part with Grogu where he said, let me help you remember.
Yes. Yes.
That was
let's talk about that.
Scene. But I was thinking... I kept wondering if Vader was going to walk through at the end. Because imagine, like, not only is it Grogu's memory and he's, like, feeling and remembering, but what if Luke saw that? Like, saw Anakin in Order 66? I was just wondering if that was going to happen, because like then the layers of all of that of like Luke has only heard stories, and this would be him seeing through the eyes of another what happened that day.
Yes. And we didn't get the finished scene, and I wonder if we will, because the question remains, how does Grogu make it out of there?
Yeah. My sister had a really clever idea. She was like, what if it was Ahsoka? And when she first met Grogu back in Mandalorian, when she said that she could read his thoughts, what if she was just not, like, what if that wasn't true? What if she already knew him? I was like, that's
interesting.
Interesting idea.
But isn't Ahsoka already on Mandalore at the time that all the shit's going down, or does she make it back and find him?
Yeah, I mean, they don't say when he was rescued from the temple.
Yeah.
They said he was taken from the temple, but nobody ever specified when or who. So
what if Anakin just let him go?
Yeah, I mean, he could have been hiding in there for a long time.
Yeah, he's small enough.
Mm-hmm.
He's resourceful enough. We've seen it already.
Yeah.
I still think that maybe Yoda saved him. That would make the most logical sense in like a breed saving its own breed, like its own species. But Yoda's also on his way to something else. He's battling Palpatine and then getting the fuck out, and Luke and Leia are being born and stuff.
And it's not
I'm
like
not sure.
There's a space station on Dagobah. Like, how the fuck would Yoda get on and off of Dagobah? Does he have a ship?
Escape pod. Yeah, they show the little ship.
Oh, I
when
guess
he gets
they
out.
do.
Yeah. It's just a tiny little Yoda ship. It's a baby ship. It looks like an escape pod. I don't know if it is.
Is it the one that he got from the Wookiees? Or is this something different?
Maybe.
I don't
know.
Whatever. I'm just sidetracking.
I know, it's like a little golf cart. Baby Yoda's, not Baby Yoda, real Yoda's golf cart. And
that's really funny.
I don't know, it gets him there.
It does what it needs to do. Battery powered.
Yeah. But I like your sister's theory.
It could be interesting. I mean, maybe not.
It could be anybody.
Honestly, it could be. It could be anybody.
People
I was saying, like,
people on fucking Twitter are saying, if we see a purple lightsaber show up and a one-handed Jedi, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm like, come on now. We can't have 50 heart attacks just in 2-3 episodes. Like, you gotta space them out, Favreau and Filoni. Like,
I'm sure they will, because they want us to watch all the other shows they're gonna produce.
Oh, no, they definitely they set up many other shows in one episode.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Ahsoka show, the Thrawn show, more Mando.
Potential other shows, the next season of Mando, like.
No, someone was saying like Book of Boba Fett is slowly just becoming Mandalorian season 3.
Well, okay, let's talk about that, because some people online are pretty pissed. Like, you know what I would love to see more of? Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett, and it's like, okay, slow down, folks. We wouldn't have gotten a Book of Boba Fett without the Mandalorian series, okay? And so I think Boba, as far as shows are concerned, owes this one to...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think of these shows now as more of like the new Star Wars. And they're
like the universe, the Star Wars cinematic universe.
Exactly. And they're just using different names for different branches of the story, but they're all part of the same big story. You know, they're cross-pollinating everything. So,
yeah.
Which is good marketing.
I mean, we sat here on this podcast and said, if you'd have made Rey a Kenobi...
Yeah.
You could have promoted the Kenobi show and filled gaps. But there's also the theory going around that perhaps Obi-Wan has some influence on Grogu, and we'll see that show up in his show. But I think there's enough topics there for Kenobi's show to tackle without that.
To stand alone. I mean, I wondered if, like, it's possible that Obi-Wan is the one who rescued Grogu. If you want to give the internet an aneurysm, have it...
Absolutely.
Have Kenobi show up to save Grogu, and you're going to... literally murder half of your fans. They won't be able to handle it. But it would sure tie in really interestingly with the new Kenobi show, season 1, all by itself. Oh my God.
And here's the thing too, for the people who are upset, I get it. At the same time, it's not over yet. They obviously have some sort of plan They got one more episode. Let's just hold off on jumping the gun here before the show's even done. This is the show, Lauren, that I said I would not watch because I didn't give a shit. Yeah. Now I know I cannot say that about any one of these shows. It's like Marvel. Every Marvel movie wraps into every other Marvel movie.
Yeah, you've got to watch it all, or
You've
you're
got to watch
miss
them all.
something important.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I learned my lesson real fast, but I mean, thank God I did, because look at what I would have heard about it, but it would have been spoiled. I mean, you would have probably called me and said, "You have got to watch."
Yeah. I did that with a few of my friends today who are huge Star Wars fans, but they've been like kind of meh on the shows, which is how I feel about the shows too. Sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
I mean,
sometimes they feel a little low budget for what they are. They feel like kind of what Star Trek used to feel like back in the whatever that was.
My mother will hiss at you for saying that.
I mean,
she will hiss at you.
Part of what was
but it's true.
It's what was endearing about Star Trek. I'm not shit talking it. It's like that genre of sci-fi TV show, right? And it was like,
it's very true.
Monster of the Week, and the sets, when it was like a boulder, you'd put your hand on it, and like if they didn't pan away fast enough, you could see it was made of styrofoam, that kind of shit.
It's true.
And sometimes it has that feeling, and like I would definitely say Book of Boba Fett, the first episode, the way they cut the action made it look cheap. It looked like they didn't have stunt people like following through all the way, so they cut and panned and moved the cameras in a way that made it look like you couldn't quite see the action all the way through. Mm. And it felt campy to me, but I still was enjoying it for the most part. These episodes are lore building episodes, right? And they tie into the bigger picture, which is what is so rewarding to a Star Wars fan, truly.
I completely agree. You said that perfectly, yes.
It's fine to tell these stories, which is why I really didn't like Mandalorian Season 1. There, I've said it. It was boring, and it was Monster of the Week, and I just don't care about stuff because you tell me I should.
Yes, correct.
By season 2, they started lore building again and like showing the cloning facilities and all this weird shit where you're just like, what the fuck is this gonna like tie into in a bigger storyline? Yes. That's where I get very interested, because there is so much material in Star Wars right now that you really gotta tell me something special to get me interested. Like, I don't want to just be force-fed, another goofy scenario where we crash our car into a bicycle or whatever the fuck was happening in episode
just some
2.
Superfluous scene.
Yeah, the slowest biker chase I ever saw in my life.
I don't want to talk about that scene. Not in this episode.
Yeah, that's its own thing. But like, my point is, Book of Boba Fett was entertaining, it was fine, but like, this is tying it into a bigger story. And I think it's actually pretty cool that they're giving Boba Fett a foot into the larger story, because he was always a peripheral character.
Yes, and I also saw that online today, that they're like, well, you guys got what you wanted. Boba Fett standing in the background while all the other characters take care of. But, I mean, because that's how we were introduced to him in the original trilogy. Yeah. Let's be real. But now he's being given some depth, and I appreciate that, because it's about the story. You and I will preach to the day we're dead that Star Wars is about the storytelling.
Yes. It's not about the gimmicks.
No. The gimmicks are fun. It makes it kind of campy and goofy and silly. It's Star Wars, it's fantasy. But it's the human aspect. Like, when, not to get off Luke for too long, but when Boba Fett was with the
Sand people.
Yes. The Tusken Raider clan.
Yes.
That was amazing. And they didn't even speak anything I understood. It was communal. Yes. It was one group of people teaching someone else something, and that person teaching this group of people something, and the shared,
respect. There was that respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't even need dialogue. There was some action there, and there was some dialogue through like like Boba Fett trying to almost sign language stuff to them, which is great. They were teaching each other. And the tribal dance at the end of episode 2 was like probably my favorite scene before this whole episode 6. But like, that's the kind of shit that I really like.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, at the end of the day, just wants a family. He wants a clan. He wants a crew. He never had one. All he had was his father, and that was, So in a way, Boba's not all that different from Luke,
Yeah.
or Grogu, or Din, Mando, because they're all just trying to find their clan and where they belong and who they trust and everything. And
Yeah.
I think it is an overspreading, overarching theme between all of these characters. You can tie them together if you want, or you could be like, okay, well, that was a Mando and Luke episode. But I don't think so. There's similarities between all these individuals trying to make their way and find their place. I mean, you could say Luke's was laid out before him, but he's still trying to find, I think right up until the moment he dies, he's still trying to find his place. Because every time he thinks he reaches it, kind of steps back a little, or gets rewritten, or finds a new obstacle, or,
Which is just life, right?
That's it.
I mean, it would be pretty interesting if, let's say, Grogu wants to go back with the Mandalorian, so Luke brings him back, and he's in Jabba's palace with Boba Fett again. There would be tension there, don't you think?
That would be an odd...
And, dude, the entire time I've been watching Boba Fett, I've been wondering why the fuck he doesn't want any revenge against Han Solo. Solo has not come up once. He's the reason he's in that fucking pit in the first episode.
Do you want to know what I think? I'm marking it down. I'm making it known on this podcast right now in this moment. I think what they're going to bust out, maybe not in this particular sequence, but it's going to happen. I think Han Solo's coming. I think we're going to get it. I don't know how. They've proven they can do whatever they want now with deep fakes and facial recognitions and all kinds. Okay, I think we're going to get a deep fake Leia, a very young Ben Solo, who show up to Luke's school, and Han's there, and Han bridges the gap to Boba, and that's like in the next book of Boba or something. But I'm calling it right now. There's going to be a deep fake Leia, whether she's off in the distance and Ben comes running towards Luke like, Uncle Luke, like, it's my new school, which makes it even worse, right? Knowing what we know.
Yeah. Oh my God.
But could you imagine if they had that happen? They could use any little kid for Ben Solo.
That's true, yeah. They just deep fake Adam Driver's face on a tiny kid.
Totally. Shit. He'd probably agree to do it. We love Adam Driver.
Oh my God, Adam Driver's amazing.
Talented motherfucker. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, if we see that, I will not be surprised. But I think Han is not to be counted out yet.
How fucking weird would it be if we just end up getting more original trilogy stuff, but they're all just AI versions of the...
I'm okay with it.
It would be okay as long as Filoni is in charge. I'm okay with it because he loves those characters.
You know what Filoni and Favreau? Well, you know what Filoni did because this was quote unquote his episode. Mm-hmm. He said, "Oh, you want Luke Skywalker? How about an hour of Luke Skywalker? You want Baby Yoda? You miss Baby Yoda? How about an hour of Baby Yoda? Oh wait." Why don't we sprinkle some Ahsoka in there? Oh, we want Anakin references? Okay, you got those too. Oh, and by the way, Cad Bane.
I know. Oh my God.
That entrance was so fierce.
As soon as I saw his silhouette, I was like, that sheriff's getting shot.
Yep.
I was like,
he's getting blown the fuck away.
Yeah.
And in fabulous style.
I as he's walking up, I was like, I swear to God, if Corey Burton's not the voice, it's not going to be Cad Bane. And
nope, it's not going to. That, of course.
It was.
So relieved to
he
hear.
Looks spooky as fuck.
I mean, I would not want to see him in the Clone Wars. He's kind of he's his own caricature of himself.
Yeah.
But then you put him in live action, you're like, oh fuck, if I came up against him, I wouldn't want. And to think how many times Kenobi had to deal with this bitch, with Quinlan Voss,
I know, right?
Put it into perspective. This guy was badass. Look at him.
He was terrifying looking.
Whew.
If you ran into that in a dark alley, you'd shit your pants.
I mean, the mayor there, what's his name? I can't remember his character's name. I'm so sorry.
Oh, the sheriff?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He told everyone
Timothy
go
Oliphant.
inside.
That's just all I know is the actor's
Yeah,
name,
exactly.
But I don't know the character.
I think it begins with a C. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I only learned who Max Rebo was today. I didn't know he had a fucking name. And I would like to publicly apologize to Max Rebo himself because I didn't know that creature had a name. What kind of Star Wars fan am I?
Well, now everybody's like, is he okay? He got
everyone
blown
online
up.
was like, is Max Rebo okay? And I'm like, who the fuck is Max Rebo? Like, and then I looked it up. I'm like, oh, it's the blue guy. I didn't realize. I hope he's all right.
Max Rebo and the Max Rebo Band.
Yes, I didn't even fucking
How did
anyway.
he not die on Jabba's barge? How is he still alive?
Oh, so when I looked up Max Rebo, there is a whole on Wikipedia. Shout out to our friends at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
They have a whole thing on there about how he escapes.
Oh,
so it's in there.
Okay, all right. Well,
Yeah, as I was finding out that like they all had names, I had no. Okay, so like our girl Cy Snoodles is in the band. I didn't know she was a part of the official band. But okay, anyway, we hope Max. We hope you're doing all right. It's a tough loss if not, but if you survive the barge, you'll be all right. I think you'll be all right.
Yeah.
Like he probably rolled away somehow.
Sending prayers and good wishes.
So can we go back to something that I do not want to miss because I think it's our highlight, perhaps. Besides the Anakin, Ahsoka, Luke referencing and side-eyeing and twinkle in their eye,
Yeah.
everybody knows, and it's all Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was going to say, could we please talk about that at some point?
Let's just talk about that because
That was my favorite part, honestly. I
was watching the scene like Grogu was with like,
Yeah. I know.
Wow.
I was just like, whoever the fuck is doing that in real life is
Yes.
a hero now, because it's like we never got that scene, right? In Empire Strikes Back, Luke just suddenly knows how to wield a lightsaber, even though Yoda only had him like basically doing backflips and handstands the entire time.
It's true, which he obviously held on to because he did it with little Grogu on his back.
That
How
was
cute.
so fun.
What a reminiscent, beautiful nod.
And the part where he jumps onto like an animal's back.
Yes, it's just like,
I laughed
don't wake
out
up
loud.
the poor innocent. That's very Star Warsy.
It
like,
is. That
You
is
know.
the kind of like, that's the kind of kid-friendly, cute thing that I like in Star Wars. Not the like womp rat dragging a woman behind a crate, whatever. I was just not
bit
into
much.
it. But anywho, yeah, when he like lit the lightsaber and started doing katas in the bamboo forest, I literally died. I died. My soul left my body.
it was that good.
It was fucking great. Like the control he has and the forms he was making were just
The pointedness of the sharpness of his movements. I mean,
Yes.
kudos to the body double, but it's what we would expect from Luke Skywalker at this point.
yes.
And but it's what we saw in that hallway scene in Mandalorian Season 2 finale. The control, the precise movements, everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we see in the sequel scene when it's him and Leia sparring for fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
The movements, the control, the very Skywalker-ness of it. It was fantastic.
It was so good. And it was so different than Ahsoka's fighting style.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I also noticed that he did like perhaps it has a name, you're the expert on this, but like the jab, like where it jabs right towards the
Yes,
camera.
I love that.
Rey does that.
Yeah, I was thinking it was very similar
Did
to
you think that too?
the scene in, what was it, Last Jedi, where Rey is practicing.
She's on the island, yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was
I
cool.
got vibes of that, and I thought that's a good tie-in.
Yeah, and I liked that we finally get to see Luke doing that. As one of the many Jedis in all of Star Wars, we never see him practicing lightsaber combat. So it was pretty fucking awesome. And like it was so precise and so beautiful. And honestly, I wish they hadn't cut to Baby Yoda so much. I wanted to see more of that. We really only got a few seconds of it.
Maybe we'll
but-
get more. I mean, there's unlimited potential now that they've proven that they can do it.
Well, maybe that's the school where Luke and Leia are practicing, and you see that in Last Jedi. Like,
It looked tropical. I would have to not. It's Rise of Skywalker.
oh yeah, what did I say?
Last Jedi.
Oh no, I didn't.
We know that's not right, but it's
Scratch that out and
okay.
yeah.
But
It honestly, dude, I like the sequels. I like them, but this new stuff, especially this stuff with Luke, makes me dislike them even more. Like, it makes me really want a lot more distance from them because, like, we're seeing all this, and this is why I had to stop reading some of the comic books too, because after Last Jedi, it's like we're watching Luke grow, we're watching him learn all this stuff in the comic books, becoming a deeper, more amazing Jedi. And it's leading to that. I don't want to see that. It's really hard to watch him being the most incredible version of himself you've ever seen in canon, and knowing that that's ultimately where we're headed. It just really hurts my heart to think of that.
I want one of two things. I want them to either bridge the gaps and make it make sense, or just that's its own thing. This is its own thing.
Yeah.
Whichever camp you're in, be in your camp.
Like, why did they have to kill all of our heroes?
I don't know.
You know, because, like, now, I know they had a different production team. They were using, you know, J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson and all of that. And I don't blame Kathleen Kennedy like a lot of people do. She's a producer. She didn't write the script. She probably approved it, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Dave Filoni is... I felt like the sequel trilogies feel like fan fiction. And Dave Filoni feels like the person who has studied with George Lucas and understands the way it's supposed to go. And so, like, when he adds to the story, it builds the story.
Yes.
And, like, I don't understand why the sequels couldn't have just been this great story about Rey. Why did it have to be actually a story about killing all the original characters? And, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to turn this into a total shit talk thing, but, like, part of me feels, like, very sad seeing this new content because it's so good, and knowing that's where we're headed just really fucking bums me out.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to compartmentalize at this point.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what's coming, and we got to enjoy it as it comes. I don't know.
It's true, yeah. It's the best way to do it.
There were some things about this episode that I didn't wholly like. I thought the voiceover was kind of slow. Like, you knew it was a voiceover, which is fine. I can excuse that because it's trying to tell a story with a character that is essentially non-existent. Right. So, I mean, they're bringing us the very best that they can. I mean, let's be real. All of the Grogu merchandise that they sold in the past 2 years funded that entire episode.
Yeah.
So I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're here to enjoy the story and, like, seeing our hero again and seeing him be tied in with our new heroes like Ahsoka, heroes like Mando and Boba Fett and all these people. Like,
yeah,
it's new with the old because of a well-woven story.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And was it flawless, seamless? No, it was damn good for what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I wholeheartedly enjoyed myself watching that.
Yeah, I agree. I thought the voice was very monotone. And, like, Mark Hamill is not a monotone person, especially playing Luke Skywalker. He goes up and down and up.
Yeah, it does. It does, yes.
And he has these moments of warmth, which I really think they did a good job of that. But they didn't have him talk like a normal person enough. Like you, I don't care. I'm totally fine with how it was done. I'm happy. I loved it. I really loved it. Mm-hmm. If you want to nitpick, that would be the thing I nitpick, is the sound of the voice. I still don't understand why the fuck they're not using Mark Hamill. He is alive.
I mean, do we know for sure that they didn't? I mean, I don't really know.
We don't
I
know
didn't
for
research it.
sure, but like he sounded like an auto-tuned, like, and I told you, I rewatched the episode with headphones on, and he actually has like an electronic hum around some of his words. And I'm sure they got it like as close as they could to sounding clean, but every now and then there'd be like something he said that had that sampling, like auto-tune sound to it. So I'm fairly certain they took sampling from the original trilogy and used that to like recreate the voice, which is what they did with the last episode of Mandalorian.
Maybe they tried a few things and this was the best they could do. I mean, we don't really know what they do on the back end of this,
I mean,
you know.
And they say like starring Mark Hamill, which obviously was not. Like I told you the text my dad said that was like, wow, Mark moves pretty good for being 70.
Amen. I tell you what, though, to bring that kind of character back in the manner in which they were brought back, I can get along with just about anything unless it ruins the story.
Yeah, yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had Mark Hamill in The Last Jedi, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, I mean, he was good, but the
he was
story
fine. He was moving, beautiful.
He brought me to tears.
But we have more problems with that than any of this CGI stuff because we're more interested in the story.
Yeah, you're right. That's 100% correct. Mm-hmm.
So again, these are our opinions. We're not here to bash. We're just telling you we have our likes, we have our dislikes.
Yeah, we're just bouncing ideas around, and like with Last Jedi, I liked it when I first saw it, and the more I thought about it, I didn't. So
me too. I thought that was a fun movie, and this is very sad and awful, and oh my God. But then the more I thought about it, and no, I didn't let the internet corrupt me.
No, it was just my own thoughts.
Something sat wrong with me at the end of that movie too. And anyway.
Yeah. So the point is that like these are our initial thoughts. This is what we're gushing about, 48 hours after the fact. So
and I don't think we're done yet. We're not done by any means.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Which I'm very excited about. Yeah.
Let's talk about the little motion that Luke uses with the Force to kind of carry Baby Yoda along with him because he can't walk fast enough.
That was so cute.
Was that adorably done?
Oh my God.
That was well thought.
It was so cute.
That's adorable.
You know what I noticed, and that's part of it. Like, I was thinking about, it's very obviously reminiscent of Luke training with Yoda. And I just kept thinking that he is kind of like, he's not like effusive. He's not being like coddling, but he's very kind. He says things like, no, that's not how we use it. But then he would say, better, very good. I don't know if Yoda ever said, good job, or like, very good.
Failed, you have.
Yeah.
Failed. I believe we're...
And it's
What's
just...
his exact wording?
Exactly. So it's just like, it was very interesting to see his sweetness, just his like sweet nature, even though he's being a good teacher, like, you know how teachers are, where they don't sometimes let you get too close. They're just here to like facilitate and let you find your way, which is what he even said. It's more like he's remembering than I'm teaching him. But like just the little kindnesses and the little gentleness where he said like, welcome back when the kid woke up and like little things like that.
Yeah.
That really touched my heart. I thought that was that was very Luke to me.
That was very Luke. And he wants him to talk. He asks him, don't you want to remember? And it's all very painful. And I know that to grow, you have to push past that discomfort, right? Luke did. And though he's dealing with basically a young, very young, I mean, in terms of whatever species Yoda and Grogu are, very young, he's trying to get him to go past that point of discomfort and not like get distracted or, all this stuff. And that's why he says, don't you want to remember? And kind of goes back to that Order 66, which by the way, it's not a Filoni episode without some clones.
I know. I was just like, oh my God. I had so
painful.
many
it's painful
feelings.
To see them
it was
in their original armor. In the armor that we see them in.
In the 501st.
Yes, the 501st. The blue.
And you
the blue
just
and the white.
know Anakin's
painful.
out there somewhere in the background. And it's just, oh my God. That scene, I felt so emotional I'm sure
like when the Jedi in the middle takes
Yes.
it and then just like crumples.
I kept looking. I was like, I'm sure there's people on the internet who know, but I'm like, there's got to be clues of who they are, those 3 Jedi.
Well, yeah. I mean, whew.
I felt that in my bones.
Just so many little things. So I guess, what do you think of Luke giving Grogu the choice at the very end? Because I've seen mixed feelings on this, and I don't have mixed feelings on this.
I do. I have mixed
You
feelings.
do? Well,
yeah.
Do tell me.
Because it's like giving a child a choice, you know? I know he's 50 years old, but he is a baby.
Yeah, he's a baby.
He's 1/20th through his life at this point.
Yes.
So-
Well, doesn't Luke say a lifetime for you? No, I'm sorry. A day for you is a lifetime for someone else, meaning
yes.
the
Yeah.
Mando?
I think that it's hard to give a child that kind of choice. That's a very difficult choice for a child to make.
With all the emotional connection behind it, too.
Yes. I thought it was really interesting what he said, that if you do choose that, it's okay, but know that you will be giving in to attachment to those that you love, which I thought was a very specific, interesting choice, because Luke has love and attachment,
Yes.
but
Yes.
he knows where to draw the line on that, you know, obviously.
Yeah.
Which
So
we've talked about in the past, but
we know that Filoni knows that.
right, because he really understands the character.
Yeah, so I saw some opinions that that's not very Luke, because Luke is basically all about attachment and stuff. And I think Luke's new school, and at least new school of thought for the Jedi, is that the old Jedi didn't really have a choice. Did Obi-Wan have a choice in becoming a Jedi?
Right, he
No.
was just taken.
He was just taken. What about Ahsoka? Just taken. Kanan, taken. Mace, the rest of them, all taken.
Yeah.
No choices. So I appreciate the fact that though Grogu is very young, I think the choice is important. And I think Luke recognizing that a choice should be made is important. But I also don't think it has to be definitive. No matter which one he chooses, I don't think it's going to be, that's it.
I think it's important. I think it's a very heartbreaking choice. And I just kept thinking how sad it was that, like, Mando couldn't see the baby, and then the baby has to make this
I get
choice.
it, but it's very sad.
Right, and it's like, I understand why, but I also feel like Luke felt doubt. You know, he said he's not really sure his heart is in it. So why would he force Grogu to keep going? And he clearly saw that he was very mesmerized when Luke was using his lightsaber. So he said, like, here are 2, like, visual examples of your 2 lives. And you should really choose. Like, now, you said you wanted to come. At first, he said he, you know, in Mandalorian Season 2 finale, he said he wants your permission. So he gets permission, he comes. Well, maybe he doesn't want to stay, and Luke is letting him make that decision.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very mature thing to do, and something the Jedi were like, maybe they give you that choice, but they also, I think, made you feel a little shitty about it if you wanted to leave.
100%.
And I don't think Luke is judging either way. I think he's saying these are your 2 realities, and you have to pick one. You can't really do both. At least not with him as your teacher.
Right.
Because obviously Kanan found a way to have attachment and do both.
And I saw people on Twitter say, well, in Ezra's school, you don't have to make a choice. I'm like, bitch, where's Ezra?
Well, and like in Ezra's school, you can do whatever the fuck you want and be a
He
dick.
rides whales, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, right.
No shade, Ezra, but we love Ezra. But
Yeah, if I had
listen,
to choose
this
between...
isn't about Ezra.
Yeah, give me Ezra or Luke. I'm going to choose Luke every time. Sorry.
Probably going to go with Luke. So this choice that Luke is essentially giving Grogu, didn't Yoda also give Luke a choice? Like, if you leave now and stop your training, be defeated by Vader, you might, you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
And Luke chose his friends. So maybe, in a sense, Baby Yoda's going to choose his friend, or his dad figure, his dad.
Yeah.
His dad, Din. Or, I mean, and still, I don't know. I don't know. I think he'll choose the armor. What do you think he'll choose?
I don't know. I'm really torn on it. I think he'll probably...
Here's what I hope. I hope he chooses the lightsaber.
Yeah, I think he will choose the lightsaber.
A lot of people, I think, will be torn on that question.
Yeah.
That's my one question.
I also wonder, they're probably not going to answer it in the next episode. I would guess.
Probably not.
They're going to go back to Boba Fett in the next episode, and they won't address any more Luke or Grogu until next season. Or another show.
Well, Mandalorian or Ahsoka or...
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit.
Thrawn, Cassian, who knows?
Cassian, yes. Definitely Cassian.
Honestly, Cassian and Obi-Wan's shows could overlap.
Absolutely, they could. The time periods would be in there.
So that is probably where they'll do the oh shit moment in the Cassian show.
Oh shit. See, here we are predicting shit. Mark it down.
Yep. Mark it here. We've said it first. Yeah. I feel grateful that we got even that. If we get nothing else, Luke Skywalker, I will cling to this episode for the rest of my life because I loved the location. I loved the feeling of, had that feeling of like classic samurai movies where you go and train with your, master or whatever. And just like the scenes of meditation, even what you were saying with the frogs, like lifting the frogs up out of the water, the hand, lifting. It was like humor and kindness and levity. It's like Grogu was distracted, so he just used it as a teaching moment to show like...
Yes.
It was sweet.
Yeah.
It was very sweet and tenderhearted. I thought it was really fun. I loved it.
Yeah, they successfully captured Luke's control, his precision, his knowledge and gift of the Force, but also, most importantly, his kindness.
Yeah.
Which is why we love Luke. And that's what we love about him, is that he's all of those things, but he is most importantly kind.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Filoni and Favreau.
Yes.
Thank you.
Truly, from the bottom of our hearts.
So, it's your turn. What did you think? What'd you think of the episode? Be honest, too.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't love everything, but we basically did. But also, what are your thoughts, feelings? Too much Luke? Not enough Luke? Do you love Luke and Ahsoka? What do you think Baby Yoda will choose? Armor?
Yes.
Or saber?
Gush at us.
Yes, all of it. All of the above. Tell us.
Yes. So join us back here next week, for real this time. We're gonna...
Unless something else wild happens in the meantime.
True. But... Unless there's another crazy episode on Wednesday and then the favorite quotes are going to get bumped again. But
yeah,
next week, as long as there's nothing too crazy in the Book of Boba Fett, we will come back to our regular scheduled program and just talk about our favorite Star Wars quotes.
Thank you so much for joining us here on the Most Things Kenobi podcast emergency episode. Remember to follow us on Tumblr, Twitter, and Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast player. Plus, you can always find us over at mostthinkskenobi.com.
So until next time, my space twin, may the Force be with you.
Always.